maybe self-limiting, but actually they're there for you to reserve your energy for the right people, opportunities, and honoring your own needs. When in doubt, utilizing your intuition to be your guide as the focus is shifting to self awareness and embracing a fresh view, a perspective of yourself. This lunar phase is offering you a mystical, magical opportunity to reflect, release outdated notions of your identity, potential, the energy surrounding the energy of it as you step up to the plate, taking responsibility for how you present yourself out into the world. It truly is all about shedding those old images, perceptions that are really no longer, probably have never been, aligned with who you've become in the moment. So think of it like an energetic clearing out of your wardrobe, your closet.
Inshallah and Ashe, I'm changing this all up today. And blessings as always, my energetic beings. And yes, adventure awaits. And welcome to a fantastic Friday. Thanks for tuning in. So, how many of you actually caught the live on Wednesday? We finished with Jim Marshall talking about septemics, the hierarchy of human phenomenon. Very curious indeed. I mean, I love humanity. I think people are fantastic. Climbing in your skin. However, being that we are in the season of the fall, the season and the sign of the body, Virgo, the embodiment, being embodied, I actually saw an interesting post or a reel or something, of course, where people really don't pay attention to the planets, which is funny, until Mercury kind of goes retrograde. It goes off on holiday, which is curious because Mercury is travel, adventure, communication, all kinds of communication, computers, anything electrical, etc. But how some of us don't subscribe to the cosmic universe, the heavenly universe, that we are all so much a vital part of, really. So how many of you are really curious about heading to the Philippines in January, as a side note? Or if you're ready for an adventure to these islands, we've got all kinds of opportunities put together. I do have a link for that in the show notes. It's actually being, I'll say, recalibrated, but be sure to check it out. Share with your travel buddy, a friend, even a frenemy. Doesn't really matter. But back to today's live. So who's ready to choreograph their body? So my intention really is to go live here on Fridays. You may need to catch the replay as to when I go live. That's up for grabs, meaning random. I wish I could say that it's going to be the same, but as we are sharing our streams around the world, your morning may be my evening. I've noticed I generally go live on Wednesdays and then Fridays the following week. So I'm kind of out there, I guess. It's going to be random. I just know how I flow. But why the body? Why body, mind, spirit? Why body is Virgo, the mind is Gemini, spirit is Pisces, and we have Sagittarius, which is actually our connection to the realm of the galactic center of what we believe in the spirit realm. It's kind of like our God-initiated purpose or the oneness field, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. So it's like, what a cosmic soup. However, I feel it's very vitally important to be sharing insight into our moon sign as a reflector, why you should get in touch with your natal moon. However, back to the body, the energy body, the physical body, that's kind of our cosmic landing pad is being embodied. And we are all here, everything, I'll say, a tree, nature. We're all here for gift and purpose, a prime directive, to really be the star that we are, to really shine on our own personal spiritual walk of fame. But the body, to give you a backdrop, and I'll say around 2000, the year of the millennia twist, I actually had a vision. I have dream visions, waking visions. That's kind of my thing. Even when you schedule a session with me, whether it's a cowrie shell divination or just an energetic, intuitive session, my etheric self, that part of the subtle body, really goes off and looks into your streams. It's kind of like a spirit to God insight invitation, like remote viewing, or I guess some people call it psychic spying, but I don't feel like I'm a spy if you've scheduled a divination. So I do ponder that, just saying. But that's more of the realm that I'm in. However, back to my little story. I was driving down the road and I kept seeing this white dragon, this slumbering white dragon. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? Why am I seeing this white dragon? And it happened for like the entire drive. The dragon was yawning, it was stretching, it was doing all the things, really just trying to wake up from its slumber. So it was like this great visual that was happening, but I'm driving down the road, right? So I then, for those of you that don't know, my then business, I get there, I actually started in the beauty industry, like in high school, and I was a high flying on the stage, traveling the states, doing shows on the stage, all about hair and the flair and cosmic insights about hair. And I opened up my own healing spa, beauty wellness center in Utah, of all places. I should have opened it actually in a retreat resort. However, back to the dragon. So I get to my then healing beauty center. I truly believe beauty is health made visible. I think everybody's magical and beautiful. We've all got our own perfection, I will say. And when I say perfection, I mean purefaction. But the label then, the name of my business was Beauty and the Beast, the Millennium Salon. And I really had all the things, everything. It was really a high-end spa. Would have or should have. That's kind of what I'm saying is in the coulda, woulda, shouldas. I did have Vichy showers, hydro tubs. But back to the dragon. So I get to my then healing spa. And my tag was, and actually kind of funny, still is, it's all about letting the beauty in you shine. Beauty and the Beast Millennium Salon. That was kind of my tagline. So I already knew every body is really a shining star even then. So I get to my then studio spa, my business. It was huge, actually. And the mailman dropped off an envelope from a company I was actually looking at. And their logo was actually the yin and the yang white dragon. So you see, the universe speaks in cosmic riddles, and the universe never makes a mistake, especially if we are open to the magic and the wisdom of the frequency of it. But the key really is in the listening and our attunement. So I literally reined in this entire message, this method for body, skin, and wellness energetically. And I really just knew I had to go with what I believed. And I truly believe energy is the medicine of the future. And I was really like 20 years or more ahead of my own curve, born ahead of my time, possibly by design, or just mapping out my 6'2" reflector aspect, just saying, probably more so. So the thing I absolutely love about this method, based on both the Chinese elements, the seasons, wood, fire, earth, metal, water, and also the energetic centers. However, I was the only one, and I'm not even kidding, in Utah, and actually I still am, I may say, that really works to heal the body, the skin with light, sound, fluid stimulation, chakras, meridians. Like, I could write a book about like the weird shit I know or see. I'm not even kidding. But it's all based on this philosophy that has been around for thousands of years, right? Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic principles. However, light, I will say, there are very different kinds of light, whether it's a machine or therapy, but knowing the light, the source of the light, and knowing that we are all energy beings, we are more energy than matter, and that's where our fluctuation gets a little, I'll say we'll have an energetic hiccup. That's where it all vibrates different in different frequencies. But back to the body. So being that we are in the season of the body, Virgo, the season of fall, which is metal, autumn, the seeds, fall cleanup, the harvest. It really is the best time to do a colon cleanse. And I'm not a doctor. I'm more of an energetic intuitive, dream state, awareness, shaman, mystic, reflector, titles, right? It's all about the damn titles. But the fall. So why the energy of the colon is peaking in the fall. This is the rise of yin energy. The other fantastic time is the spring. Why? Because they oppose each other energetically. And Earth is a transitional season. It happens, I would say, 4 times a year. And that's where the elementals, when you do Chinese astrology, come in. We've got the dog. We have the dragon. the goat. I'm a goat. How could I forget the goat? The goat and the ox. So they're just different corners, and they actually play a vital role in our environment, in our houses as well. Just knowing where we can activate those spaces, but that's for another time. So, how does one perfect their body? Being in the season of Virgo, being of the body, body of the mind, body of the spirit, body of the soul, etc. First, often we have to admit to ourselves that our body is trying to speak to us in its own magical, fantastic language. So the body, and we are all born in a season, we are all embodied. We may be in our toe sometimes, or we may be like too much in our head. And we may be right in the core of the core, which is our God spot, the center of the star that we are. It's like our own nirvana, if you will, being embodied, enlightened. I guess people might call it enlightenment, and it truly is. So the elements, if you've participated in my Rising of the Origins, my free Live 8 immersion I really talk about the elementals. We're all connected, right? So again, thanks to you that have joined in it and are really learning about the elementals, the cosmic insights, etc. But the fall, it's the energy of the autumn. It's the colon. It's the rise. It's the rise of yin energy. Yin is a frequency that's inside of us, and yang energy is outside of us. It's it's like the sun and the moon, and to know thine own self. Even going into those dark places, I call that the ghost in the darkness, that sometimes really, they're not really that dark, but we've been programmed that possibly they are very dark. Different aspects. But those are the parts of us that are going through life. We learn from our shadows, and we also heal from them. But back to our bodies. So, of all the magic that resides in the universe, no two bodies are the same, subtle or energetic. I feel like it's this merging that goes on. And for those of you that are a part of the Energy Body Demystified, this is really about setting a foundation to choreograph and merge your spirit body with your energy body so you can elevate your frequency, basically. It's kind of like raindrops falling on our heads. Different drops of rain. It's not really a splash pad kind of a thing. So just knowing that nothing in the world we consume, consumerism, meaning products, what we see in the adult picture books, also known as magazines. And we often have, I would say, somebody else's idea of what a perfect body is. And the reason I'm bringing in a body is because we're in the season of Virgo. So it is the body, it's work, health, it's service. And it used to be, ironically enough, back in the day, it used to be a doctor, you really had to understand astrology, the 6th house, because that's health. That's where our health is. And for me, I'll talk about myself, energetically, my 6th house is ruled by Aquarius. So health for me is kind of otherworldly. It's out there. It's innovative. Even my healing practice, bringing light therapy to Utah like 25 years ago, say, that was unheard of, and it still is. But their whole philosophy, and I'm going to show a screen here. It's off to my side. But beauty is health made visible, and it's so true because the body is reflective. Whatever's going on inside our body is actually going to show up at the level of the skin. It shows up mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all the things. So it's like, what do you see happening when people start to maintain or take care of what they ingest in their body, right? How many people are sacral eaters, emotional eaters? A lot of people are. They're emotional eaters because they're stuffing their feelings, their emotions, right? But what are they stuffing? And then how many are logical, mental eaters, thinkers, affirming the negating ideas, especially Mercury's off on holiday, so those negative kind of hiccups come back in. Plus different planetary aspects. But what we think of ourselves is what our mind believes, and we manifest it, bringing it into our reality. That's why affirmations are actually so powerful. Whether I'm doing fantastic or doing great, the fact that I'm saying that every day, it kind of helps me be fantastic and doing great. So just thinking optimistic thoughts about our bodies, that's also part of it. And I'm not going to go far into that as well, but no, am I perfect? Absolutely not. But today I just want to stick with the elements today because the body is a fantastic tool. It's a measurement. And once we get our energy vitality on the rise, which is the energy of wood, but today I'm kind of going through the skin and how the skin and the body speaks to us and through us. I'll get to the energetic centers later as well, but not today. I don't really want to do a cosmic brain overload, not just for you, but for myself, because I do kind of remote view travel. However, again, being in the fall season, so the best time to do a colon cleanse is really during the fall season when the energy is peaking. So I'm talking about like colonoscopies and whatnot. It's the lung, it's the large intestine, it's skin that is dry. It's the season of dryness, flakiness, congestion, which aren't pimples, by the way. Congestion is white. It may appear visually, it might look like a pimple, but it's not. It's like little white congestion. I don't have any, so I can't show you. But it's not a pimple. Myself, I'm in the season, so we've got the season we're born into, but we also got the cycles of life and the seasons of age we're born into. So the season of the age for myself is metal. I've gone past adulthood. Would I say I'm mature? Probably not. Just saying. But this is where metal energy is actually peaking in my particular season of life or cycle of life. So with that, the metal line is for dryness. And I'm going to show you a side note here again. But the metal line, I live in a state which is dry earth. The earth is dry, not quite like a desert. However, it is dry, close. So I've got the energy of the earth plane where I live is dry earth, which is metal energy. And then we've got the energy of the heavens or the sky, the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, which is also more dry, not real humid. That's why in Salt Lake City, Utah, the snow here is like flaky and fluffy because you got these two energy frequency vibrations. It's great to ski on. It's fluff. It doesn't turn to ice, right? Well, it can, but it's more fluffy. So the combo of the energy here, the earth plane, telluric energies, metal vibration, and the season I was born into, which is actually fire. Fire in the Dagara cosmology, if you've heard me before, fire of the month and fire of the hour, fire in the year. So I'm very fiery. So to bring me energetically into balance, I use both fire and metal along with water, which is a whole nother gambit I'm not going to get into. Way too long for the intro. But I'm going to go through the elements and kind of muse about you. Next week, I'll probably layer a little bit more. But why am I doing this? Which is a fantastic question. I really woke up this morning with kind of a fire under my ass, and I don't know. But our foundation, the fundamentals of our energy body, our essence, our being, are really encoded in our body, our physical body, our genes, our DNA. And we can actually reprogram our genes. We do have the gift. We do have the ability. And just knowing that not all bodies are the same, so not all eating habits, nutrition quotients are the same, exercise routines, and just knowing our elemental foundation is just one little snippet, one particle of the process. And then the energetics are kind of the next part, energy to matter. So kind of your homework for yourself is to share, like in your body, where the soul and the spirit really come to inhabit our greatest asset. Like, are you born in what month, what year? What's your personal elemental structure? What is the language that your body speaks to you? How do you love your body? That's kind of a particle of how we love ourselves and what's seen outside of ourselves by design. So what works for your body may not work for another body. And that's what's so fantastic because we're all unique. We're individual. We're energetic thumbprints navigating, like Prince said, through this thing called life, talking to our bodies. I would actually put my left hand on my heart and be like, hey body, is this going to nurture me? Is this going to feed my soul? And when I say that, I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about things I watch on TV. I'm talking about my environment. So really asking your body, the body always gives telltale signs. Some of us are more yin in nature and need to collaborate with our yang or outer nature, get outside of ourselves. And some of us are very yang in nature, and we need to collaborate with our yin side, our inner solitude. All these elementals play a role in body, out of body, and the cosmic highway. I'm not even kidding. I created the balance of being. It's just, I get really connected to your body part, your parts. The energy body demystified and the balance of being is just, if you're not into the woo, I should say, the balance of being is just a great way to get connected to your body. I cover your mind, which is our mental attitude, along with exercise, getting our move on, rest, not the sleeping kind of rest, authentic rest, solitude, which is meditation, water. And that's where the idea really of soliciting solitude, our inner solitude, came from. Breath work. Some of us need to work on our breath work. Like, how do you breathe? Do you do the lower belly chanting? Do you do a cleansing breath? And nutrition, it's really like, are we feeding our soul, your spirit, with foods that really satiate and nourish our choreography? And when I say satiate, it's like, words that are positive, optimistic, like what are you listening to on Audible, for example, or what books are you reading? That's mental clarity. And exercise, I don't know if I said exercise already. However, even the elements have their own vital energy and rhythm. And metal is the breath. It's choreographing our circadian rhythm, movement, exercise. And fire is action. It's Mars. Nutrition, wood, nature, greens, vitality, energy vitality. Meditation, water, reflecting. It's going inward. And earth, I would say, is kind of like rest. It's contemplation. It's being a solid foundation. And our attitude, our data entry points, the mind's got 2 channels. That's more Mercury, I would say, in our solar plexus. That's just my opinion. But please do comment below if you need some insight for your energy body, and I'll kind of navigate the energetic centers for like upcycling your own personal perfection of being embodied. I think we're all perfect already. However, in the season of Virgo, this truly is a fantastic time to really calibrate your love relationship to the skin that we are in being embodied. Being embodied fully is what enables us to live our most fantastic, individual, unique spiritual gift purpose, along with having divine access to our own personal prime directive, because we've all got purpose, spiritual gifts and or otherwise. And the best way to carry out our life, our gift and purpose, is really through accessing our personal innate gifts. And that's to follow habits that truly authentically, in a season, a year, if you've tuned into me before, we're in a season of nature, which is authenticity, change, transformation, like being authentic to our soul, truly supporting our inner to our outer authenticity with behaviors, attitudes, and styles that really reflect our own divine spiritual essence. Why? So that our body can really be the vehicle, the vessel for our spirit that it authentically came here and meant to be. Now, I'm not a nutritionist by any means. I am kind of an energetic wizard, a source protector, if you will. And I do have a unique understanding of the elementals in the body and of the world. I do a lot of ritual. So absolutely, do I see the world from a unique perspective? Yeah, if you've ever worked with me, it's like, oh, because that gets your brain moving, right? Curiosity, absolutely. And you probably do too. And life is always full of ups and downs. It's perspective, forces of adversity, energetic hiccups. The universe is always moving us. So if you weren't raised to really authentically love your body down to your freckles, down to your red hair, you may not feel completely comfortable embodied in your skin. Possibly you haven't actually claimed your gift and your purpose, like tending to your own self first. It's like the oxygen mask on your face. So I am hopefully going to assist you in actually doing both, being embodied emotionally, possibly healing those Chiron wounds. Chiron, the wounded healer. Virgo is the healer. See where this maps in. Loving every inch of your physical self, your spirit initiated self. So between now and next week, I have some ideas for you, some homework, a dash of this. I like to call them a list of ingredients, so kind of making a list. Elemental and physical, emotional, mental, spiritual even. Maybe even those natural resources that I kind of cued in: rest, exercise, breath work, breathing, just paying attention. Like, kind of see where you're at a balance. Like, do you get enough solitude or meditation? How is your nutrition quotient on all levels? Nutrition of spirit, nutrition of mental clarity, things you say to yourself, affirmations, the data you're bringing in, nutrition itself, body, mind, spirit. You're picking up what I'm throwing down. And even rest. So it's like, where could you balance those threads in those areas, mental, emotional, and spiritual? Like, for example, does your heart believe that you are a divine atom surrounded by unconditional particles and loveness by the oneness? This effervescent energy that is as much a part of the all and also the one. Do you wear clothes that express the magical being that you are and always have been? Or, because it's the fall, are you getting a new wardrobe? Are you getting a wardrobe update? Are you cleansing the cobwebs out of your closet? Whether it's a spiritual cobweb, an emotional cobweb, or just even like the physical clothes, whatever, the old, to kind of rein in, bring in a freshie. So, really reflecting upon yourself, your own embodiment, and asking your body, literally, like, do you need to shift your eating habits? Do you need a new wardrobe? Do you need to get off your ass and exercise, move a little more? Just saying, my dad needs to do that. It's incredible. Either way, just really reflecting on your answers and how you may bring them into your day-to-day realm, your environment, and upcycling your belief system. Hopefully that they are your beliefs, not somebody outside of you. Behavior, character, kind of a divine percolating attitude, seeing the divine blessings like already. And remember, I do have a library in the sky. And what does that mean? Offerings. I like calling offerings. I don't like programs because I think we've been programmed too much. So I don't even like the word. So offerings to assist you in the magical aspects of your inspirited self being embodied. I do offer soul coaching, being a soul service provider, and retreats, not the average, normal, everyday retreats, right? These are the adventurous kinds. These are the kinds that really percolate in your soul and make you question everything. So that's fantastic. So I do want to show my slides. They're probably going to go a little random because I didn't really update them. Came from a different, came from a live show I did. So if you can comment, I don't know if I got the comment thing on. However, I'm going to figure this out. Bear with me. Scrolling down my little side thing here. Here we go. Share screen. Bingo. And here I am in the corner. See, I'm getting better at this. So this is that dragon I was telling you about. The universe, like, I was at a crossroads. Everything I do is based on healing, wellness, and mapping out our divine design. It's been my entire life, quite honestly. And I do believe, like, even as a hairdresser, my thing is, like, when people come to me, they never told me what to do with their hair. I am like a wizard. I can make anything look fantastic, and you're going to leave like the star you are, and I'm not even kidding. However, I had this healing center, and everything I did was based on healing through the skin, Ayurvedic. I actually started with Aveda until I became corporate shitty America, and that's when I found this company. But either way, it's all based on the energy body and the energy to matter. So, and really, beauty is health made visible. Whatever's going on inside your body is actually going to show up at the reflex zones on your face. And I do have a slide for that. Bear with me as I move down. So this is their logo. Okay, so that's what their name meant. They've changed the name, knowing that our body is more than, it's actually, we're more energy than we are matter. And it's a matter of living from our energy body more than our matter side. Is kind of what I want to say. And beauty really is reflective. It's health made visible. And if we focus more on aspects of raising our vibration and our health quotient, there, I think back in the old days, it used to be you paid doctors based on how well the community is. Now, isn't that interesting? So there's just an idea there. But health does require an energetic balance between the yin and the yang and all the things. And this is like the physicality. But I've been working through this through the skin for a long time. I've actually had several people who'd had Bell's palsy. I worked on their acupuncture points with energy, vibration, light, sound, etc., and got rid of their Bell's palsy. And I'm not even kidding. I do have some testimonials about that. But I think energy, people don't understand I don't know what the word. I think we get confused or we think it's a little too woo woo, but I don't even care. It's not my deal. And again, the body, we are more energy than we are matter. Our life force, whether you call it prana, chi, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. I'm just going through this. Okay, so this is skin in my live that I did. So this is what happens when we over process our skin. You cannot go buy skin off the rack. Like it's very sad when I see people over processing their skin, because there's a telltale sign there, and it's actually connected to an energetic center, how we see ourselves, our self-image and whatnot. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. However, that's kind of what this message here is how we see our skin and the balance of our skin, and reading the face with the elementals. It's kind of fascinating. So that's kind of what that's about. Those are feet theories. Use these on the energetic centers. You can also work with them on the acupuncture points. There's a whole system for this. These are great. They're essential oil blends. They actually work on the etheric level. They've changed their name to Quantum because they've done tests, and they work on the quantum level, which, you know, that everybody's into the quantum field. And of course, the energy centers. I'm not really going to go over that till next week. Okay, I'm just going in. So the yin and the yang. So what happens in our bodies when I'm talking about the skin? So somebody who's excessive, that would be like a over yang. Deficient would be yin. So when I talked about inside the body and outside the body and the reflex zones of the skin, that's kind of what this is talking about. And again, I'm not going to dive into this. You can check it out. I'm kind of mapping this out in my own magical way today. But so when I was talking about the energy of Utah, I happen to live in Utah. That's what this is kind of about. It's the yin and the yang. It's the time of day, even when you're born, all that goes into play here. But once you understand your elemental dynamic, you can actually use food as a resource, different exercises. That's why some people, you know, I need cardiovascular. I need to move red blood circulation. I'm so full of fire that sitting on my ass is a detriment to me, quite honestly, like sitting here now. Somebody with excess earth energy, you got to move. Sitting is not good for you, because the lymphatic system is really the only system in our bodies that actually needs movement to be activated. But there's times of day that are peak yin, peak yang, just like cycles through time, space, and life. And just knowing your elemental foundation really helps us navigate and maintain health. The cosmic energies, again, I was talking about the earth plane. This one's the earth. Again, I'm in Utah. So the energy here is more dry. The earth plane is dry. So most people, if you're already extra metal energy, being in Utah, you're going to be actually more cosmically dry because they all place an aspect there. And then we've got the energies from the earth plane that also play in the role. So that's kind of what that is there. So, for example, I used to travel to Arizona all the time teaching actually this method to one of the aesthetic schools down there. And Arizona is the desert. There's fire. It's fire. It's fire heat, not metal dryness. It's fire. So they have the energy of earth, which is fire, and the desert. And also the heaven energy is also fire, like it's 100 whatever degrees. And I found a lot of the people that were in Arizona were elements of wood and water. And those would also be the imbalances that would show up there. So it's really fascinating once you start playing with the elements. And I look at people differently. This is kind of what I look at, their cosmic makeup. So again, just for fun, we're in the season of metal. And Earth, again, is a transition season. People born in the season of Earth actually have the hardest time on the planet because they're always in transition. So it's like they're never fully embodied, but Earth people, they're basically solid in their body. Lymphatic circulation sometimes, have issues with their lymphatic system, acne, toxicity in the body. So wood is a great one to break up the earth, metal to pull out the toxicity, water generally, because there's different, I would say acne that's kind of watery in nature, acne that's fiery, like burny. So energetically, that's how these all play out. So it's just an entire system. Thanks for, I don't know who's commenting. Sorry, I can't see that. Hang on, let me get crafty. Are you loving? Thank you so much. Share, because this is like seriously, if people only could get into my brain when I'm looking at their bodies, what's going on. So every element carries an energy vibration just like we do. And again, the reason I brought the skin color line in was through vision. It was all through vision. And understanding the body. It's based on the elements, Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, because we are energy beings having this human embodiment experiment here on planet Earth, living our gift and our purpose, and it all maps it all out. So for fun, so energetically, the organ system, that's also connected to the elementals. Wood, liver, gallbladder, that's also anger. Gallbladder, yang energy, that's resentment, regret. The coulda, woulda, shouldas energetically. So even if you had your gallbladder removed, you still carry that energy, frequency, vibration. And how this shows up on the skin is people like liver spots, right? You're depleted in your yin, liver, wood energy. That's energy vitality is wood. So it's, just looking at people, and then auras get involved, which I won't get into that today. However, wood is the spring, the season of spring. I would say it's the dream state hour when you're born there. Month, day, hour, year. If you've tuned into my live shows I was doing on Sundays about being my secret guest. But yeah, wood is vitality. Fire is red blood circulation. It's the heart. It's the small intestine. And there's reflex zones on the face and the body where will tell you what's going on inside. Like myself, I've got wrinkles on my forehead, line horizontal. That's small intestine. That's one of the energy vibrations I have in my chart. So for me, it's nurturing that aspect. Water is the elemental I go to because I have no water in my chart. I've talked about this all the time. Water is also communication. It's spirit. It's being intuitive. It's going with the flow. I have a house with a pool. Like this, you can't make this shift up. I'm just saying. Earth is our lymphatic system. It's acne, toxicity, when it's imbalanced, enlarged pores. That's an imbalance of earth energy. And we have all these energies. It's just about balancing them all. Metal, we're in the season of metal. Great time to decongest. Lungs, do breath work. And my yin, lungs, yin energy. Large intestine, colon, colonoscopy. The energy of it, great time to do it because we're in that season and that energy, frequency, vibration is like, it's rising. So it's more, we've got, what do I want to say? We have the energy there kind of peaking where we might be more sluggish, say, if we were in a season of earth. So they all play out for each of us individually. Oh, I guess I could have just showed you this slide. But even flavors and tastes. So myself, I'm a fire person. Summer, that's my season. I cannot be in heat. I have so much fire. I get, it's almost like I get claustrophobic in heat. It's not fun. Just saying. So being in a fire environment, like going to Arizona all the time, really wasn't really a smart idea for me. But sour foods, because sour wood feeds fire. And salty foods, spicy is bad for me. Metal controls fire. Sweets, I've got a lot of earth myself. Sweets create toxicity in my body. Earth people should not eat sweets. Creates dis-ease, discomfort in the bodies, like our bodies speak a language. So, fantastic. Okay, so this is great. So these are the reflex zones on the face. We actually have reflex zones on the body as well. So again, I talked about my forehead. So lines going horizontal or vertical actually carry different energetic messages. Kidneys, when people have excess kidney energy, yang, they've got the puffiness or they've got dark circles. One's yin, one's yang, puffy circles, different than dark circles, right? So that's the yin and the yang of that. The gallbladder, the liver. Now, what's fascinating is you can have conditions, say, I don't know if you can see me. However, the stomach reflex zone, like if I'm red through here, that's fire of the stomach. So that tells me circulation, right? Something in my stomach is overheated. And that's the body, that's how the body gives us telltale signs. Congestion through here or the lung area. You can have acne there. So that would tell me you've got toxicity in your lungs. So that's just how the body speaks its own language. But it really is about balancing our own personal biorhythms, being in tune with nature, the cycles of the season, the cycles of life, etc., etc. That's the equipment I use. There's the lymphatic system. Lights, because I work with light. Not going to get into this. Okay, here's the body. So, metal people are the only people that can have two different constitutions. They can be really yin and slender and skinny, or they become metal excess. And it's how the body morphs when it's out of balance. So obviously metal, colon issues, if you're poochy in the bottom, right? Large colon, or your colon's not happy, or yin, you're kind of depleted, depressed. So just like in the elementals, just like astrology, we're in the metal season. We've got the monkey on the month, but we've also got yang metal on the heaven through this season. This year, that changes every year. It's never the same. And we're a part of these elementals. So Virgo, Libra, Scorpio are kind of this metal constitution and that energy vibration. And as we move, they do change. They don't stay the same. So like I said, we're in the monkey, which is the west direction, the corner, kind of where I'm sitting, ironically. Also rooster, the rooster, and then we head into the dog. So they carry different frequency, energy, vibrations, and we all do. Fire, that's somebody that's got a huge fiery chest. They probably have heat, excess heat in the body when they're imbalanced. Wood, people generally build muscle easily. Yoga is great for them. Flexibility. Water, people going with the flow. Earth, that's like stability. Nurses are generally earth people. Where metal, usually estheticians are actually born Virgo, cleanliness, and Libra, beauty, kind of funny. Anyway, that's kind of that. Let's get out of there. So now that I'm out of there, hang on, this might take me a minute to figure out because I'm hilarious. Let's stop that. Okay, now I'm back to myself. I'm going to show you real quick because I didn't bring it up. Bingo. So this is for right now. See the yang metal in the month and the monkey? That's dryness. So our constitution is going to start feeling more dry energetically. The year we're in, this is why I talk about this stuff. Yin water, rabbit. So yin water, bladder, getting into the flow. The rabbit is like innovation. This is all going inside of us. Innovating, transforming, change, the year we're in. This is not the day we're in, by the way. This I did on Monday. This was Monday's. However, that was kind of a lot. Thanks for tuning in. I might do Wednesday next week or Friday. I am having Jim Marshall return as we climb into that septemics ladder, which is kind of fascinating and still kind of irritating just saying that out loud. Only because he says things that are kind of old school. which I don't want to go down that rabbit hole either. But if you do have elemental questions, um, or maybe if you're feeling like you're a Reiki intuitive and energetic healer, and you're really using the skin is a conduit for your body energetically. And again, Virgo season, I really have found that most estheticians are born in the season of Virgo. I'm not kidding, or Libra, because it's the aesthetics of that nature. So we carry these within our bodies, whether we're aware of it or not. And that's kind of, I think everyone's got so much magic and medicine in them. I'm just saying that out loud because I truly believe it. I'm not even lying, not even kidding. But yeah, so Virgo is the home, it's being embodied. The fall is a great time to do fall cleansing, cleaning up the leaves, getting rid of the old so we can bring in the new. And then we start hibernating. That's what we do in the winter. We kind of hibernate, accessing different parts of our body. And we're a part of this. We've gotten away from following and flowing with the seasons. And anyway, I think we're going back to our origins. So I just wanted to give insight. So I'm going to be doing this about the body and these centers again weekly until we're through the season. So thanks for tuning in, Facebook user. It doesn't show me names, but either way, at the end of this, there will be a snippet from one of my podcast interviews, Kelly Kane. If you've tuned into her, she's got a fantastic story. She actually, similar to myself, I mean, I had a near-death experience when I was 7, so I was initiated as a child. That's why the spirit world is just that's my playground. But she went through an initiation, an energetic hiccup, whatever you want to call it. I really think the universe always works in our favor and things happen for us, not to us. But she went through a physical initiation, a car accident, and it really transformed her. It was like, it gave her like the mighty wake-up call to really climb into her skin and her gift and purpose. So I do have a little snippet at the end for her little interview. I do this on all my stuff if you've tuned into me before. But again, blessings, Ashe, as always. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Thanks as always.
And something that came through was never stop your energy work. Well, that made me curious. And then I met my shaman friend, and she saved my life. I've been seeing her, I think it's 72 sessions. So I've seen her for a very long time. I would say for the 8.5 years. And she was the one who really taught me what it was, along with my psychologist and the neuropsychologist, how to get to the bottom layer of healing old wounds to heal the wounds that just happened. And as I kept erasing things, there was just more spiritual occurrences, more signs and synchronicities. So I started to dig into becoming a Reiki healer for myself. But at the same time, my mom was also dying and she was afraid of death. And I was scared because I almost, that could have